Hey everyone, this is Will with Midwest Washing Equipment, and we've just got a brief video today that'll go over the 5 things we think you should consider before buying a drone washing rig. As a brief overview, the 5 things are: what will you be washing, what kind of rig works best for you, how much pure water can you produce based on your needs, what pumps you should have depending on what kind of washing you're doing, and what kind of remote control and chemical setups do you need. The first thing, what you'll be washing, is one of the most important things you should consider. A lot of the opportunities and versatilities with drones comes with washing a wide array of things that would either be slow, tedious, or dangerous to wash with more traditional methods. So for example, if you're washing high power lines, or you're washing solar panel fields, or you're washing water towers, for example, all of those are going to have different considerations than if you're washing high-end residential, commercial buildings in a city area or a rural area. What you'll be washing kind of informs everything that comes after that. So for example, if you plan on doing more work in rural areas, factories, or farms, or other things, you may want to have more water capacity, which means you may want to go with a trailer, which can have more capacity over other options. And for example, if you're in a city, you may want to go with a van or a truck skid because those are more compact and easier to operate in tighter spaces. A brief recap of the first point: what you plan on washing. You want to consider where you'll be washing, how much water you'll need, and what kind of setup will allow you to get your equipment in and out as efficiently as possible without compromising on performance. Number 2, what kind of rig will work best for you? So I'd kind of talked about it in the first point of what you'll be washing, but we make 3 primary types of rigs: trailer rigs, rigs for commercial vans, and rigs for pickup trucks. Each of these has their own kind of pros and cons. Trailers can generally carry more equipment. They can carry your drone and your battery, but they do effectively double the length of your vehicle, and they can be kind of tough to move around in cities and other places as well. There's also storage considerations with trailers. You can't necessarily just park them in a garage, and if you do put them in a shop, it needs to be a pretty big shop. The downsides of vans and truck skids is that, for example, if you do a truck skid, a lot of your equipment will be exposed to the elements. It's kind of harder to get off and store. A van skid, you can also have less equipment just because you have less room in the van. One of the main advantages of a van skid over a truck skid is that you do keep everything, including your valuable drone and your equipment and your batteries, secured inside the van when you're not working. The third thing we think you should consider is what kind of pure water capacity do you have on your skid? So a lot of drone washers do high volume window work, whether these are commercial buildings, schools, other large residential properties. A lot of traditional methods to produce pure water, for example, using a water-fed pole or other ways, are kind of slow. You generally get about 1 to 2 gallons per minute, which is adequate for a water-fed pole, but is really inadequate for a drone that could be spraying 8 to 11 gallons a minute of water. There are 2 main ways to get pure water that we set up on our builds. You can use a sediment and carbon pre-filter with a DI resin finish, or you can use a sediment carbon pre-filter with an RO filter that then goes into a DI resin finish. So the advantages of going out without the RO is that it's faster, you can produce pure water much more quickly. However, the RO will significantly extend the life of your resin, which is a pretty expensive component. But with all of this being said, what's important is that you can produce a significant amount of pure water quickly. Ideally, you're looking for about 4 to 5 gallons and up, which gives you plenty of time for your buffer tanks to fill, so you won't find yourself waiting on water as much, especially if you have 2 operators, or like I had said, you're doing a lot of high volume window work and will just need a lot of pure water. The fourth thing is, what kind of pumps do you have on your skid? So we use mainly 8 gallon a minute pumps for the high pressure, and then we use either Comet P40s or AR45s for our soft wash pumps. You don't really want to use an electric pump for your soft washing unless it's the Comet P40 electric pump, because that has the power to kind of work in those operations and carry it up to the height. A standard 12-volt pump doesn't work too well for drone washing, so we strongly advised against it. The pumps determine how quickly you can wash, how much ground you can cover, how long you might spend washing or rinsing various surfaces, so the pumps are an important thing to consider. The lowest we generally advise using on a drone wash setup is a 5.5 gallon a minute commercial pump. Like I'd mentioned previously, the most common pumps that we use for drones are 8 gallons a minute. Finally, you'll want to consider what kind of remote control and chemical setups you might need on your rig. So our drone rigs come standard with on-offs for both the engines, as well as the ability to remotely switch chemical. The remote control allows the drone operator or other people that might be on the ground to quickly turn the engines on and off, turn the chemical off. It speeds up your operation, just makes things a lot easier. And then part of that is how you want to set up your chemicals. So we've done quite a few different setups, either custom or standard, and it's very important to consider with drone washing that you need to get the chemicals right, because you can't necessarily agitate the surfaces in traditional ways as you could with a surface cleaner or something else. And with that, you want to carry multiple chemicals, or a few chemicals that you know know how to use really well and kind of understand your application. The ways we generally do that are with our 6-port hydro mixer, which allows you to have access to many different chemicals. And oftentimes we put a drop stick on that, so you can just put that into whatever soap or other chemical you may be using for the day, so you can have that kind of ready as you need it. Having multiple chemicals also makes it easy to have certain degreasers or neutralizers that you want to keep around in case you accidentally get overspray from bleach or other kind of caustic chemicals on plants, or just want to be very careful not to damage a surface or preserve windows. So to wrap it up, that's 5 things we think you should consider before buying a drone washing rig. If you like this content and want to get more information from us on washing rigs, drone washing equipment, or kind of how we set up and build our skids and trailers, just let us know. Like this video, give it a share, comment what you'd like to see next in the comment section. And if you have more questions, give us a call at 317-390-4103, or just visit our website at www.washingequip.com. Thanks for watching.